Hey, everybody. If you heard me yelling, I was shouting for a lighter, and I just freaked my poor spouse out terribly because we never shout across the house at each other. It's just not something we do. Neither of us enjoy that. But I was like, it's time to start, and I don't know where the lighter is, and I was freaking out. And anyway, hi, I'm Julie. This is Wine and Reason. With me is my dear friend One Ring 42. Y'all know him, you love him. Hey. All the cool kids are here. We got Brainbug in the chat. We got Junie the Apostate. We've got Divine Disbelief. Hey, we got Critical Cripple, Dave Hugs, Brainbug. Did I say Brainbug already? I don't care. I like you. I can say it twice. Oh, my darling spouse, Junk Shop Library is in the chat. Yay. And I would be looking for Noodle, but I imagine it's way early or way late.
Where it's about 6 p.m. over there. 6 p.m. So okay. I think she might still be at work, might still be working.
And if not, she might be grabbing some dinner, which she should do anyway. Yeah. It's 6 o'clock. Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to do this specifically. Well, actually, you came to me. And I was like, yes, I do. And then I remembered, oh, this is brilliant because you're a veteran.
Yes, and not only a veteran, but my job in the military was literally analyzing terrorist attacks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I said before the stream, a lot of what I will say in this stream is my analysis. And if I do dispense actual information, it's information that I probably can't cite. It's not classified or anything, but...
Yeah, fair. Yeah. You can't necessarily say where it came from, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that disclaimer, and also, God, I just knew you as a good dungeon master. I had no idea you were an anti-terrorism analytical badass, so thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you for your service.
Well, I mean, it's one of those jobs that's like a lot more badass, and before you know what it actually means, because it's like halfway between being a news reporter and a fortune teller, and you spend a lot of your time making PowerPoints for officers.
Sure. Okay. That reminds me of a job I had where I worked for a medical company that made stuff for spinal surgeries, and that sounds really impressive. But I don't know. I can't do spinal surgery, and I'm not a doctor. but I can make an e-learning presentation on a PowerPoint to tell a salesperson how to describe it to a surgeon.
It's like. If you've seen the Get Smart reboot movie, what Steve Carell is doing at the beginning of the movie is probably the closest media depiction to what I actually did that you'll see.
Oh my God! Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we know you're humble, right? Okay, so hey, Nerdy Rodent. All right, I'm going to try not to just randomly shout out people from the chat, and never again after that one, so that we can actually get down to it. Okay, so it's been a rough day. Is it?
Yeah.
How long ago did this happen? Has it been a year? Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, that was really just yesterday, wasn't it?
Technically the day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday. My God, it's all so obviously, y'all, in case hey, the African Humanist, how are you? So obviously, if y'all haven't figured it out yet, we're talking about the insurrection at the Capitol building in DC, and it's honestly the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. That's not entirely. I mean, I should consider like McVeigh and a couple of, in the Oklahoma bombing. There have been more deadly domestic terrorist attacks, certainly.
Yeah.
But I've never seen, but this one kind of unfolded right there on C-SPAN in front of me, and it was like, what is happening? They were just counting
Yeah.
votes, and now this. So, yeah. So, it's, and we certainly expected a protest, absolutely.
Well,
And go ahead.
actually, I've been expecting a terrorist attack since Biden was announced as the winner.
Okay. That
Um,
actually, yeah, that makes sense.
and once the Million MAGA March was announced for the 6th, I wasn't sure exactly what form it would take. My my bets were my bets were hedged on the protest turning into a riot, which it did, but not in the way I expected, or a spree shooter.
Oh, yeah. I was very worried about
Yeah.
that as well. Now, not on the 6th, though. It didn't,
Well,
because I
no.
didn't have your
Yeah.
background.
No. As soon as I saw that, or as soon as I saw it announced that there would be this Million MAGA March on the 6th, I'm like, okay, that's when it's going to go down.
Okay. What else were you thinking about, or did you, I
Yeah.
don't know, insight that you have? Sorry, that was a terribly
Okay.
funny question.
So, and once again, this is just my, um, this is just my analyst brain, essentially. Um, so there's definitely going to be some other kind of attack at the inauguration. Well, either an attack or they're going to catch it in time.
Yeah.
But there will very likely be an attempt at an attack during the inauguration. I'm also hoping Reverend what's his name from Georgia?
Warnock.
Yeah, Reverend Warnock has a
Mhm.
very good security team.
Me too. I mean, first black senator from from Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm very concerned for his safety as well.
yeah,
And that was such a close election.
yeah.
Yeah. But it did prove something kind of amazing. And as a Democrat who's lived in a red state her whole life, I gotta say I cried a little bit. I've never seen a state like Georgia flip blue before, and it gave me hope because usually when I vote, I'm like, well, here we go
And
again.
Junie has a great point about this isn't the first time right wing um, groups have stormed, armed right wing uh, people have stormed a Capitol building.
Yeah.
If I, because I that yeah that incident in Michigan that happened, like, I think it was during the summer, when when the yeah when the insurgent group, or the paramilitary force, the militia,
Yeah.
took over the Michigan's Capitol building. I I should have remembered that if I were probably if I weren't like 5 years rusty, I probably would have taken. Oh, they might even storm the Capitol
Mhm.
as an option, but because when you're kind of looking at what's probably going to happen, you got to kind of take into account what tactics groups are known for.
Yeah.
And I was thinking general American terrorism, so I was thinking spree shooter, or widespread widespread rioting.
Sure. Yeah, me too. Well, no, not me too. I'm sorry. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I'm like, yeah, no, no, I had no
Yeah.
idea. I was complete. Yeah, I think I was being, I was talking to Junk Shop about this last night. I was like, I think I was incredibly naive, because I was so shocked by it. I was like, because later when I thought about it, I thought, why am I so shocked? This has been,
Yeah.
this madness has just been building and building and building for 4 years, you know. And yeah, somebody in the chat mentioned that the sad thing, and it may have been with the Michigan Capitol comments as well, with Ginny, what she said. But the the sad thing is the folks that were there are completely convinced that they're doing the right thing. They're convinced that they're saving our democracy when they are in fact actively impeding it and opening a door to fascism, and they don't realize it. And I don't get why they don't realize it. I'm having a really hard time, because it's not just about, I mean, I saw an interview on, I might have been the New York Times. I'm sorry, you guys, I did not cite my sources well this time, and I know I normally do, but I failed miserably. But I saw a video last night where there was a young man, and he was speaking to a reporter, and he was actually right behind the woman who was shot by Capitol Police, and who later died. And he was talking about holding her in his arms and all of that. I'm not gonna give you all the gory details, because I don't want to trigger anyone. But but anyway, you can find it. It's not hard to find online. But then after he described that, we're watching this, and I'm thinking, okay, this should be your wake-up call. This should be your moment where you were holding a dying woman in your arms, and so maybe storming into the Capitol building wasn't a great idea. And he gave his full name to the reporter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's probably, hopefully he's been arrested by now, because he was one of the people that went in there. And it's like it never, you could tell it never occurred to him that he'd done anything wrong at all.
Well, and if you saw that clip from the BBC reporter who actually got in there with the crowd, like he's interviewing people as they're milling about in the Capitol building, and they're saying things like, this is our house, we're taking America back.
Yeah, and that was similar to what this young man said. He said, quote, "This shit's got to stop. This can't stand. They've stolen the election." And he was shaking as he was saying. He wasn't angry.
Yeah.
He was scared, and he was upset. And he was so earnest and so sincere. I mean, he really honestly believes that the election was stolen, when it clearly 80 judges have determined that this was the election was incredibly secure. So it's all because of Trump lying. 4 people are dead today because 5 now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the cops that was wounded died in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I know it hasn't been a great year for how we've been talking about cops, at least not on this channel, but that man was defending the man or woman, I don't know, was defending the Capitol.
And divine disbelief, I was with the 101st. I was with the U.S. Army, specifically the 101st.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I think never mind. Different question for a different time, but that might have been my dad's, but I'm not sure. Okay.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's a good thing that Congress was able to evacuate in time, or else it would have been much worse.
Yeah, agreed. There was an armed standoff at one point. Did you see that footage?
No, I didn't see that footage, but I heard about it.
It was terrifying. It was like there were like 3 people with weapons drawn, and two looked like, and I don't know because it's not like they had name tags or anything.
Yeah.
Two looked like civilians. One looked like a Capitol police officer.
Well, and I read in one of the news articles I read through during the course of the last 48 hours that the woman who was shot by a plainclothes Capitol
Okay.
officer.
So one of those people with a gun could have been a plainclothes officer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just assuming they couldn't have all been police standing off against each other. So at least one had to be.
But so, and part of the reason why I say it would have been a lot worse if, Congress hadn't been evacuated so quickly is Congress was from the way the crowd behaved when the Capitol was, after the Capitol was breached, the way they just kind of loitered around and acted like it was like a frat party or something.
Yeah.
One, most of the crowd wasn't, I'm going to say most of the crowd weren't the actual, insurgents in question. They were the weapon.
Yeah, that's true. They were part of push them up to get them in there.
Yeah, and two, it was likely it was Congress that was the target.
Yeah.
Because pipe bombs were found at a pipe bomb was found at the RNC headquarters and the DNC headquarters.
Yes.
As well as a cooler full of Molotov cocktails and a rifle.
Oh, I didn't know about the rifle.
Yeah, the rifle was found with the Molotov cocktails.
It's like a game of Clue, except real and terrifying. Okay. Gee, oh goodness. So basically, because our president is a big fat liar or has and I mean that in the classic sense where big and fat modify lie, although he is a big guy, but I'm not making I don't freaking body shame. Anyway, he because he lies so much, and I'm not the first person to ask this question. I mean, The Rage said it on a stream, like that some people are seriously think he's mentally ill and has somehow convinced himself of this, that it's true. But regardless, because he cannot be reasoned with and because he just lies so much and his supporters believe everything that he says, again, we've got 5 people dead. So how do we safeguard the swearing in on the 20th? Why weren't we more prepared for what happened on the 6th? Anything you can give us there?
So, fun little bit that I picked up in one of the news articles I was reading. Trump lowered security around federal buildings at the beginning of the week.
Okay. Sorry, I'm working on an aneurysm. It's I'm hoping it goes away. All right. Wow.
Yeah. Trump basically made it so that only the DC police was securing federal buildings at the beginning of the week.
Great. And we lost an officer because of that. That's fantastic. Okay. You all can hear the sarcasm, right? I don't have to. No, all right, good. All right. So also, if you listened to his speech that he gave right before they all marched, and he said, "I'll be with you." Of course, he didn't. He went back to the White House and hung out and watched it all and then tweeted. Which again, liar. What? Anyway, but he he got them all fired up, and he absolutely incited them to violence. He used the words, "We have to fight." I mean, it's very clear that it was an incitement to violence. And even as the sitting president, there is the reason some people are calling for Article 25 to be enacted, which is if the president is not fit to serve, meaning ill or what have you, then the vice president takes over. However, I don't want them to do that. I want them to impeach him a second time, because if they do that and find him guilty, then he can be he can't run for public office again. That's that's one of the punishments that comes with being found guilty in an impeachment.
Though the thing is, actually, I think Article 25 might be a better option in the long run.
Yeah.
Because if Article 25 is activated, well, either way, if Trump gets removed from office or if Article 25 is activated, Pence maintains the presidential duties until the end of the term. But if it's Article 25, Pence doesn't actually take the office of the president, which means he can't use the impeachment power, or not the impeachment, the pardon power.
Oh, that'd be good. That would be good, because I don't want.
So
I think it was Junie again, but somebody brought up in the chat that couldn't Trump just pardon all of these people?
Yeah,
that is a fascinating question, because I don't know that we've had.
Actually, we have had a blanket pardon before.
Yeah, we did with the draft, the draft hunters. Yeah, during Vietnam. Jimmy Carter. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's that. I get that. It's I get the blanket pardon thing. I'm just, the fact that they committed insurrection against our government, against their own government, our government. At the incitement of the president, could he still pardon them even though he was the one who told them to do it? That's the part where it's on.
I'm gonna say, like, I'm not a law person. I'm a terrorism person.
Yeah, I know, and that's fair. I don't know the answer to that question.
I say technically he can. Mm-hmm. I think, but the thing is, invoking the 25th means that Trump can't pull a Nixon.
Yeah, that's true. That would be good. Yeah.
Which is why I say it's, better in the long run, because we'll, we could actually see Trump facing federal charges.
Well, yeah, but wait, if they invoke the 25th, though, can't he run again in the future? I mean, assuming he lives that long and isn't in federal prison. So that's a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Because the thing is, New York's already, got a court case, for all of his tax shenanigans. And and I'm pretty sure Georgia can get him for tampering with their election, or trying to, conspiracy to commit election fraud.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and they're actually. Oh, yeah, that's right, because of one of those perfect phone calls when he was like, "I need 11,780
votes."
Yeah, 780 votes. Oh my gosh. Uhan makes a good point. Yeah. It only applies on a federal level, and you have to be convicted. If you haven't been convicted, there is nothing to pardon. So
actually, no, you don't. Because remember, Ford pardoned Nixon. Nixon wasn't convicted. Nixon resigned so Ford could pardon him.
I thought that Nixon tried to refuse that pardon, but Ford did it anyway. But I might be misremembering.
Yeah.
It's a lot of there's a lot of weird U.S. history, especially when
Yeah.
you're talking about Richard Nixon. Okay, so anyway, that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so one of the things that really disturbed me were just it was a lot of the imagery, honestly. Uh, let's see, there was a sign that read, Pelosi is Satan.
Yeah.
Like, really? Y'all, to calm down. There were Trump flags they were the American flag, but they had Trump superimposed over the stripes, and rifles. Did you see that?
Also, the American flag that flies on the Republican side of the Capitol building, off the second story. They removed it and replaced it with a Trump flag.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and funny note, the bidding on the podium was up to $80,000 on eBay before eBay took it down, took the auction down. So,
and of course, the insurgents / rioters announcing Trump had won from the podium, once they got onto the Senate floor.
as if that would make it I mean, again, they're incorrect about that, but they really believe it. But also, did they think they would do anything? I mean, it's not a magic podium. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even like magic, like the chair of St. Peter that the Pope sits in when he declares something infallible. It's not even that kind of not imaginary magic.
So I'm thinking, in the absence of the actual target, the people in the crowd who were directing it, because there were Proud Boys among the crowd stirring up the crowd.
Oh yeah.
And remember, during I think it was the second Trump Biden debate, he told the Proud Boys to stand back stand by. Yeah, stand down, stand by.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's a military order.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, that means telling someone to stand. Yeah, telling someone that means await further orders,
which he would, I imagine, know as the commander in chief.
Yeah,
I try not to. I don't want to make too many assumptions about Trump knowing actual protocol, but okay. Well, that's really disturbing. I mean, it certainly sounded that way anyway. It came off that way just in a layperson's ears or a civilian's ears. But yeah, I did not know that was an actual military order.
But my guess is, in the lack of the intended target, the insurgents who were directing the crowd, because in my opinion, now that I've, had a few days to kind of mold over, or a day to mold it over, is, most of the crowd, while participants in the riot weren't exactly terrorists in the attack. They were the weapon.
Yeah, agreed. And they were used. They were absolutely used by the president and by, like you said.
Yeah, and and by the Proud Boys, and by I'd probably list the Q shaman as one of the terrorists.
Yeah,
because he's very prominent in a lot of the photos. And by his body language, it looks like he's one of the ringleaders.
Yeah, he would be, easy to find, to spot.
Yeah.
If geez.
So, but in the lack of the intended target, seems like they just let the crowd do what they will, and I think that announcing, Trump president from the podium was meant as a symbolic gesture.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was, intended by any of the ringleaders, because I haven't done any kind of, in-depth research into the breach to try and pick out any more, ringleaders aside from the Q shaman. And he sticks out like a sore thumb. He's really easy to.
That outfit, you just want to say, honey, no.
And
no.
Brainbug, he's known as the Q shaman. He's a big QAnon supporter, and he shows up to a lot of protests and rallies. He even showed up to BLM counter protests.
Ew.
With a sign that says "Q sent me."
Oh, gross, weird.
So,
okay, hang on. Let me make sure I'm talking about the same. Are we talking about the guy with the buffalo?
Yeah, with the buffalo horn. Yeah, he calls himself the Q shaman.
Okay, okie dokie. And the crazy never stops. This is great. And y'all, I don't use that word lightly. I'm using it in the colloquial sense. I have 3 diagnosed mental illnesses that I control with therapy and with medication and things like that. So and cognitive behavioral therapy. But this is nuts. This whole thing, it strains credulity to a breaking point. So or it's you know what I mean. I used that word wrong incorrectly. I'm sorry. I'm really shaken. I can't. I'm having trouble formulating sentences, and that's usually my.
Yeah. And Divine Disbelief says, yeah, I can tell you about 3 or 4 of them, all in tactical gear and carrying firearms and temporary handcuffs. Thing is, fun fact, I'd have to see, footage of them actually moving to confirm or deny it. But they may have been either directly or indirectly trained by the military. Because this is a thing that militia groups and gangs like to do, is they like to take their members with no record, and then put them through a brief tour in the military to get them trained up, and then have them train their guys who couldn't get into the military.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's one of those things that I can't cite, but I know.
Yeah. Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, the military knows about it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like once you're in there, I imagine they figure it out. And who knows? I don't know. Never mind. I was about to do some serious just Pollyannying, I think is what that's what my dad would call it.
Yep. Yeah. MS-13 that I read as a specific example.
Okay. Shit. I was about to type into the chat that if Divine Disbelief wanted to get in here, I'd send you a link, and then I realized I'm on StreamYard and I'm not entirely sure how to do that without leaving for a second. But if you really want in here, Divine Disbelief, I'll just pop out for a second and and leave it all on Ring shoulders for a second and send you a link. But let me know. Uhan, yeah, he can't pardon people who weren't charged. Last I heard, and this is old information, so y'all let me know if, and Ring, let me know if this is
Yeah.
outdated, because it probably is. There have been 63 arrests so far. I got that early yesterday, so there may have been more.
Oh, last I read, there were like 46 or like 45 or something.
Okay.
But that was like really early yesterday morning.
Yeah, yeah. The you guys know that picture of the dude with his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk?
Yeah.
He claims to be from my city and to be a member of my fire department.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'm not pleased about this. There has been a conspicuous lack of phone calls from anyone in my family the last 2 days. I gotta say, it's interesting. I think they're all just avoiding the "I don't want to fight with Julie" thing.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you. None of you are watching this, but if you are, if you do someday, thank you for not calling me. It's good.
And
if you were going to defend any of these shenanigans.
And if you watch the BBC footage of the reporter who was in the thick of it, you can see actual like smoke or tear gas being released. So we do know that there was tear gas being used as they were breaking into the Capitol.
Yeah.
But no one knows if it was deployed by the police or by the terrorists.
Well, there was a woman who was one of the terrorists. She and I caught a clip of her, and she had, I mean, her eyes were red and just tearing all the way down, and a man was supporting her as she was kind of staggering away. And a reporter caught her and asked her like what happened, and she said, "We were just trying to break into the Capitol, and then they threw tear gas at us and knocked me down." And I was like, and then I was like, well, you shouldn't have done that. But the reporter said, asked her, why were you doing that? And she said, because it's a revolution. And I was like, oh my God, Karen, go home. Go back to being a soccer.
Uhan Roderick says you can see the rioters throwing them. I can believe it because I have seen footage of, of rioters who were wearing gas masks, which means they were prepared for tear gas.
Yeah. Well, and unsurprisingly so. Well, actually, given there was a big, like, basically, there was some tear gas used inside the building, right?
Yeah.
But there wasn't any used, and this is fair, unfortunately. There wasn't any used on the crowd that was remaining peaceful outside the Capitol building until after 6 p.m., which was the curfew set, by the mayor. At that point, cops were like, "Hey, you are officially breaking the law now. You need to leave." And a lot of people just left willingly. And then the ones that didn't, they used, there were some flashbang grenades. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Y'all can tell I've never been in the thick of things. I never have. Don't know what I'm just here. Anyway, so and tear gas was used at that point, but or pepper spray or both. Those details were a little hazy on the night. But but the disturbing thing about that, and that is actually, if you are peacefully protesting, which these assholes have the right to do, that's fine. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I get they have the right to do that. What's upsetting, or what was upsetting, was watching this unfold and going, if this was a BLM protest, all these people would be dead. They'd all be arrested or dead. Like,
a lot of people make this comparison, but remember back to Lafayette Square in the summer when Trump had a peaceful protest tear gas just so he could take a photo?
Yep, I do. Yep. So he could take a photo with a Bible that he wasn't holding correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Divine Disbelief said at
Yeah.
least two of them are ex-military, one with longtime security clearance.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me because, like I said, militias and gangs like to send their recruits in with a clean record so they can get, military experience and come back and train those who can't.
Right.
Who can't get into the military.
Right. Little bit more here. U.S. anarchist jurisdiction, Portland, Antifa thugs were the. I love that you're copywriting that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Orgasms all the time this summer because the police are awful and did the tear gas thing on a regular basis. Yeah, and you guys were there. Divine Disbelief were there with their dogs protesting. So thank you for doing that. Especially for us like me who couldn't. Thank you.
Meanwhile, when you have a terrorist attempt at a coup,
yeah, that's different.
Some of the cops let them in, and there's footage of at least one cop taking selfies with the rioters.
Yep.
And usually I like to call a spade and, call a terrorist. But like I said, I'm of the opinion that most of the rioters are the weapons rather than.
Yeah, and I like that distinction. I do, because I think, I mean, all of these people are horrendously misguided.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, they really believe it. And it's not like they're not like hooligans just trying to stir up some trouble or have a weird Saturday night or something. I mean, this was a moment where that they thought that by impeding our democracy directly, they were actually fighting for it. And that's what's so messed up. I want to use much stronger language. Fucked up. I'm not monetized. Fuck it. I can say it. Okay. I feel better. I needed to say that. All right. I just watched a documentary about swearing and what it does in your brain and stuff. It's actually good for you. So, okay. Something else. There were. This was incredibly disturbing to me, and I don't want to dwell on it for the reasons that will become obvious for too long. But this really made my blood run cold. There was a lot of anti-Semitic slogans in that crowd too, and white power symbolism, which I think we've already touched on.
And actually, the Q shaman. In a lot of the pictures, you can see one of his tattoos, which is apparently a neo-Nazi symbol.
Oh, fun!
Yeah,
great, because we need those again. Okay, sorry. I mean, they're not. It's. I don't. Okay, I was about to go off on a tangent. Yeah, and I will mention the Camp Auschwitz hoodie. Did you see that picture?
I think I did.
Yeah, it's a guy. He's got like a receding, bushy red hair, and he's an older guy. I almost said gentleman. No, he's not a gentleman. And he's got gray and red beard, and it looks to be like, maybe 50, 60, something like that. And he was wearing a green, what I think it looked like a sweatshirt or a hoodie, and it said Camp Auschwitz and had a skull and crossbones on it.
And the thing we also need to remember is the attack at the DC Capitol building wasn't the only attack on a Capitol building.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is something this is a sickness that is invading lots of parts of our country.
The same day, it's like Georgia, Kentucky. I'm not sure. Like Georgia and a few other states were also hit.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, same day.
Oh my God! How did I miss that?
because same way everyone else did. I didn't notice it. I didn't see anything about it until way later. But yeah,
Was it because
everyone was focused on DC.
Okay. God damn it. All right.
Oh yeah, Oregon was one of them.
Oregon was one. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow. Oregon. Yeah, thank you. Divine disbelief.
Well, as someone from the Pacific Northwest, you know, I know you're not, because I'm also from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I would love to live in the Pacific Northwest, but I can't afford to. So
it's just the only other one that I remember was Georgia, and that was because I was also keeping attention to news from Georgia because of the Senate election.
it is fascinating that historically, whenever you have moments of progress, you also have a huge pushback against that progress, and we saw it in the '60s, and we saw it with the civil rights movement, and every time. I mean, this is just a human thing. It's not even an American thing. It's just not just us weirdos. It's everywhere. But yeah, there's this weird. It's like you get this bit of the culture that does not want to move forward, and they just desperately want to drag all of us back with them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Junk Shop has a link.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the foot on Pelosi's desk guy was apparently arrested in Arkansas.
Oh, in Arkansas. Good. Maybe he's from there. That'd be great. I just don't want to claim him. I don't want him to be from my city.
Oh, it's Michigan where they. Okay, I thought they put up the cross in DC. So Michigan was where the cross was.
Ah, okay. Oh my gosh. There's a lot. This is a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can tell I'm stressed out because I'm doing that. I'm hot and then I'm cold and then I'm hot and then I'm cold thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? Yeah. Trump lied. 5 people are dead, and also there's a rash of white power, anti-Semitic, evil bullshit going through our country as well, like spreading like herpes. And except hopefully, actually, we know there is a cure for this, because if y'all have ever watched any of Grumpy Old Dude's videos, people do come back from being in white power groups. They do. He is living proof that can happen.
Yeah.
And his lovely wife Amber is in the chat. Hey, Amber. Okay. But yeah, so not like herpes, more like something you'd need a couple of shots of penicillin and a lot of thinking to get over. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I wanted to make a gross analogy. It didn't go well. Okay, so yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, there was another illegal thing that Trump tried to make happen. He asked Pence not to count the electoral votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pence was like, I can't do that. I have to, sir. It's against the law. I can't break.
I think Pence ended up compromising and like didn't show up or something.
He was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in the room because like I said, we sat down to watch this on C-SPAN because of that. That's why we wanted to make sure, like, we were like, all right, let's I think Pence will do the right thing because he's if he were a D&D character, he'd be lawful evil, I think, but he's not going to break the law. I just don't see that happening.
Also, another thing about this obviously being planned because Trump's speech, you know, because the crowd got to the Capitol right when they started debating about Arizona.
Yeah. That was some interesting timing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that turned out to be a good thing because they were in their separate chambers.
Yeah.
Now, what's your thoughts on that? Because some reporters have said that was lucky because they were able to get out more easily because of that reason, or but then there was talk about them sheltering in place, so it's kind of confusing.
So I think because I did because it looked like they started to shelter in place when the the terrorists, the rioters were starting to attempt to breach. But then once it was breached, they evacuated.
Okay.
That's what the timeline looks like to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is helpful. Yeah.
And divine disbelief. The closest I'm getting, like the closest I'll get to both siding this is my stance where most of the rioters were the weapon, not the terrorists.
Yeah, and when I keep harping on the fact that they really believe it, that's me not getting their mindset. Like I can't. I'm genuinely shocked by that. And I mean, I guess all. I mean, I shouldn't say I guess. I mean, all terrorists think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just what happens. Or they, by definition, I think they think they're doing the right thing. But it's just so. Yeah. I am not condoning on any level this nonsense or this bullshit. And I think this also points to the disturbing lack of critical thinking and and how poor. Oh, thank goodness, Betty DeVos is gone.
Yeah.
Thank goodness she should never have had that job. She should have been fired. That would be under a sane president. But am I yelling? I'm really angry.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gone. But that's where this is what happens when you have a largely ignorant, largely credulous population. This is the problem.
Well, also when you have
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
The only time I compare it to BLM is when I'm comparing the police response.
Yeah, the police response was strikingly different with the white people protests than
in regards to the the mindset. I can get kind of close to the mindset. One, I grew up in a really fundy Pentecostal household.
That's true, yeah.
Two, I spent three of my years plus training where my job was literally think like a terrorist.
Right.
So, you've got to realize that when it comes to the hard evangelical right, we're talking like the real fundamentalist evangelical right. They see everyone else in the country who's not Christian right as agents of the devil.
Awesome. Well, that would explain why my oldest brother called me his enemy on Facebook and why we're not speaking anymore. That would explain that. Okay.
And with the whole Trump evangelical movement turning him into their orange messiah.
Yeah.
That's and then you had him, tweeting out and just putting more, oil on the fire once it started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then Twitter finally grew a sack and took down his account, suspended his account. I'm like, I know so many people who've been in 48 hour jail. Some of them are here, and for saying, thing. Oh my God! And none of it.
I was put in Twitter jail for a Wizard NASCAR joke.
For a NASCAR joke.
Yeah, no, because I tweeted, my headcanon is in the American South, instead of Quidditch, there's a wizarding NASCAR.
Oh my God.
and then someone replied to that, and I, and I replied with a joke saying, You'll take my redneck wizards flying in circles from my cold dead hands. And that got me in Twitter jail.
Okay. See, that again, that's all right. And I also realized the position that Twitter was in, and that, he is at the moment, hopefully won't be for much longer. Well, I mean, he won't be for, but you know what I mean. I think he needs to be removed from office because clearly he's dangerous.
Yeah.
We've gone from a lot of us on the left going, he's dangerous because of how he let COVID. I mean, he already has blood on his hands, and now he just 5 more, add them to the body count.
Well, so the thing is,
oh, go ahead.
See, America's on kind of a tightrope right now, and the tightrope's almost made of barbed wire. Yes, he needs to be out of office, but I think at this point in time, impeaching him and removing him from office, real quick, is a dangerous and possibly bad move.
Yeah, do you think? I think it would inflame his followers even more.
So the way things are standing right now is we know that we know the inauguration is definitely going to be a target, and and this is my assessment right here, right? I'm not saying everyone knows for certain that but the inauguration is going to be a target.
Yeah.
We forcibly remove Trump from office, through impeachment and removal. Then it becomes a wild card,
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm sorry, I cut you off again.
Yeah, now now as things stand, we know that there's definitely going to be a target, and when you know what a target is, you can defend it.
Yeah, and actually Nancy Pelosi has the same opinion, because she said, not in so many words, but she said a similar thing at a very brief press conference yesterday. They were already planning on scaling the inauguration way down due to COVID. And she said now further security measures will be taken, something to that effect. That's not a quote, that's a paraphrase. But what is this? Okay, so divine disbelief. What is members of Cult 45? Is that are you making a joke about
I think divine disbelief is referring to Trump evangelicals and QAnoners.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Because he's 45th president.
45th president. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm not enough out of fight or flight to be, in terms of where my anxiety is, to be clever at the moment. I can't even recognize clever. That's what that was. That was very clever. Thank you, divine disbelief. Shit. God damn it. Okay. And finally, this is coming from Amy Klobuchar. She was interviewed on by Stephen Colbert last night.
Yeah.
on his show that, or not on the 6th, rather than he did a live show. They waited to see how everything would turn out, and then went on. And she said that yeah, that's where I got the over 80 judges have ruled that claims of election fraud are baseless and reckless. Those are her words. And then she also said that some Republicans, as they were sheltering in place, agreed to change their vote on something, or anyway. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm my note says change their vote, but I was like, what on what? Like, what would they be voting on right now? But of course, that leaves us with the question: is why did it take so fucking long, and for them to come to this conclusion? They had to wait until like the actual people were storming the floor before. But she also said, and this is a quote: we have we have mounting body bags in this country. We have people with empty seats at dinner tables. We have, and of course that's meant to pull at your heartstrings, but I get it. She's a politician. It's also true. We have people who can't yet get the vaccine because this president has failed to distribute it. And I gotta say, she was not one of my favorites. She wasn't even in my top 5 for when for the primaries.
Yeah.
But I was like, where was this when you were during your primary campaign, Amy?
Well, I mean, during like we only just got a vaccine.
Well, that's fair. Okay, you know what? That is fair. She couldn't have made these accusations then because it hadn't happened yet. No, you're right. I just meant like she was being all sassy, and I loved it. It was like I was not impressed with you before, and now suddenly I am.
And yeah, I agree that Trump needs to be charged and imprisoned, but he needs to be done so once he's out of office.
Yeah.
In regards to national security, I'd say leave Trump be for the next 2 weeks. Have so you can focus on protecting the inauguration, because that's as things stand, except maybe in a maybe like a speech by Warnock.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the next target. We know that. We can defend that. We remove Trump, everything becomes a wild card, and that means the next attack will be worse because we won't know where it's coming from.
That's a bummer. Yeah. Okay. I see your point, though. I do. You've changed my mind on that. Damn it. All right.
Yeah.
You're right. And especially what you said about that was a very good argument, and it changed my mind. Well done there. I'm not going to read this out loud because I don't want this video to get suppressed, and sometimes if you say the H word, they do. So, but that is an important point. And something else to remember: that certain historical figure, son of a bitch, bastard, evil, horrible person, was also elected initially. So let's keep that in mind. That's not ever, not every coup is backed by a military, which is actually a really lucky thing for us here, because that's people talking about a second civil war. I mean, there is, unless they have generals in their pockets that we don't know about, that's not going to happen. There's
well, okay, I can
it would be
so
they lose horribly.
So if there is a second civil war, it won't be like the first. It won't be a conventional war.
No. Oh, hang on. You're junk shopping a little bit. So I can't. Oh, you're frozen. Damn it. You were about to say something really important. Okay. So yeah, Harmonica Man does point out that a lot of these folks, as we all saw in the footage, is like 2 to 3,000 people, and they weren't wearing. Almost none of them were wearing masks, and if they were, it was to hide their identity. It wasn't about COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, this also could end up being another super spreader event. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ring. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, sorry, my internet
That's all right.
blanked out. But yeah, so if there is a civil war, it won't be a conventional war. It'll essentially be the GWOT or the global war on terror come home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yay, domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
Great. This is awesome.
Well, and the thing is, FBI and Homeland Security and you can actually read the reports online. I do have them cited in the description of another video I did on a similar topic.
Cool.
But the FBI and Homeland Security, or either FBI and or FBI or Homeland Security, I forget which, has cited the growing rise of white supremacy and Christian nationalism and the right-wing militia movement as national security threats.
Yeah, and they're also. Go ahead.
But of course, we haven't taken them seriously because it's better to bomb brown people on the other side of the world.
Yeah, because of endemic and systemic racism is.
Well, also because we're fighting a proxy war for the Saudis.
Yeah. God damn it. Okay, and just somebody, hey, if you're in a part of the world where it's a civil hour to drink and you want to have a game, just do it every time I say God damn it, but you might not. Just disclaimer. Maybe that's not a good idea. All right. Yeah, yeah, that is exactly what we're doing, and we've been doing it. We've been doing it so long now that not only I haven't taught for 7 years, but I was teaching at 3 different colleges, and I had vets coming who had already fought in that war and come back, and these were young people who were so scarred, and yeah, that was rough, and anyway, but and very eye-opening to me, but also now we have people who were born after 9/11 who are eligible to go into the military, and we're still there, which is why Afghanistan is referred to in history classes as the graveyard of empires. It's still bad. Yeah, and another disturbing thing is I mentioned that in the before time when I had a job, I mentioned that to a colleague at my last job, and something about the war in Afghanistan, and she was like, "That's still going on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the media never covers it anymore because it's been going on for like almost 20 years."
Fun fact: the last outside invader to successfully hold Afghanistan was Alexander the Great.
Yeah. Fun. Okay. What else what else did I want to say here? Oh, I said it on Jen's stream last night, but if you've missed it, I highly recommend checking out the Opening Arguments podcast. They did a live stream through YouTube on January 6th, talking about all of this, and they are one of them, rather, Andrew Torres, is a lawyer, so he could speak to more of the legal aspects. And it was I actually want to go back and rewatch it because I was too stressed out to take it all in at the time. But yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to rewatch. All right, so basically we need to worry about. I'm also how worried are you or concerned are you about possible assassination attempts as well when it comes to Biden and Harris? Because I'm very concerned for their safety right now.
Well, I will say, especially since Trump recently tweeted that he won't be attending the inauguration.
Great.
I'm definitely thinking that an attack at the inauguration will probably be a spree shooter or a bombing because their orange messiah won't be there to take a bullet.
Right, exactly.
So they can be a lot less discriminate.
Yep. Yes, they can. Oh, hey, somebody in the chat type something so I know if we're still actually running or not, because no one's typed anything in about 10 minutes or so, and now I'm done.
Well, I just opened YouTube in another tab, and it's still running.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Amber. Thank you for no reason. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Junk Shop. I love you. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's terrifying. And I'm not okay with that at all. That could seriously destabilize our. I'm worried about the destabilization of our government, because that could really fuck things up.
Well, I mean, that is kind of the aim of insurgents and
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, I mean, I know there's a chain of command and how we deal with that, and there are scenarios. It's not the first time anyone's ever had this thought. They do have protocols in place if something really terrible happens like that. But really don't want that. Oh, thanks, Brainbug.
Yeah, if I were a betting man, also if the people planning security, planning the inauguration were smart, I'd say, Biden will be sworn in at the actual inauguration, and they'll probably have Kamala Harris at another location doing whatever the VP does at the inauguration via live stream.
That would be good. That would be intelligent. Yeah. Yes. Let's hope they do that. It doesn't have to be all public, especially given COVID. They can even cite that as the reason.
And Harmonica Man, Biden. So the thing is, given what I've seen of how modern terrorism is in America specifically, what's most likely would be it under the cover of a mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And the most likely targets are, Biden, and then Senator-elect Warnock.
Yeah,
are the two top targets that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Oh, and I noticed this too, Harmonica Man. Trump was just hiding behind bulletproof glass while inciting violence. And Biden absolutely should be put behind bulletproof glass as well.
Yeah.
Especially if he does the traditional, taking the oath outside.
Yeah.
I really hope he doesn't. I mean, guys, I know we're big on tradition in this country, but tradition is just guilt trips from dead people. You don't have to do all of them, especially if it endangers your life.
Yeah.
Like we actually had a president take that. Who was it? Somebody tell me. Take that oath of office outside in a really bad January weather, and
I think it was Taylor.
Taylor. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like one of our literally shortest lived. It's so sad. I'm not laughing because I'm happy that happened. I'm just saying, like, could have done that indoors, Mr. President. I mean, but back then, people wouldn't have been able to see it, or not as many people. But still, it's like, yeah, all right.
But I mean, they could like Pope-mobile the podium.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, if yeah. If the little bubble car is good enough for the guy in the fancy hat, like, why not?
Yeah.
Stupid hat. Oh my God. Okay. I can also recommend, and this is interesting too. But it's fun whether you're into Stephen Colbert or not. I really recommend that live version of a Late Show that he did. He made some jokes in his monologue, but he was furious. It was just right there under the surface, and I've never seen him so angry, and he had every right to be. But it was like seeing your favorite fun uncle really pissed, and it was scary a little bit.
Oh, and you know how chill I usually am.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it already, and odds are everyone in the chat already has, because it's like my second most viewed video right now.
Oh.
But on the day of, I had a rant stream.
I know I missed it.
Yeah.
I wanted to come over,
like you know how chill usually I am.
Yeah.
I was cursing up a storm.
Oh, now I have to go watch it.
Yeah, my army was showing.
Awesome. Yeah, because I rare side of Ring, and also, and I'm glad you're normally chill and happy and calm and relatively well-adjusted human being. That's the kind I like to be around. It's good for my mental health. But there are times to get.
I wouldn't exactly say well-adjusted.
Fair. Yeah. You come off as well-adjusted if that's any consolation. But I will say that man, I can't even. Okay. So this is what, if anyone doesn't know, this is what anxiety, that's like medication level worthy anxiety, does to your brain. Actually, this can happen to anyone, but I just have it all the time. But it makes cognition difficult, and I am literally finding it difficult to string sentences together that make sense. So I'm gonna have to close out way earlier than I had planned. I wanted to talk to you a lot longer about this, but I'm starting to shake physically, and I'm gonna need to take some medicine here in a minute. So can you just give us any final thoughts or insights or things that you've been thinking about and haven't gotten to say yet?
I mean, we covered most of it, but there is a request of brain bugs that I have to do if you're okay with shilling.
I am absolutely. Oh, please, always. Yeah. I am.
So around this time tomorrow, starting an hour before we did, if I'm doing time zones right. Mm-hmm. I will be on Brainbug's channel talking about the archetype of giant spiders in fiction.
I was asked, am I? No, I shouldn't say that. No, I shouldn't have said that. He asked me. I think I'm on too, because I said yes, but I'm not. Now I might have just fucked up. So if I fucked up, Rainbow, I apologize. But I may or may not be joining you. As I'm waiting for. I'm assuming it's cool with Brainbug that I do, but if it's not, don't feel pressured, man. It's cool.
Oh yeah.
I won't hold it against anyone.
Yeah, Brainbug says you will be the co-host.
I am. Okay. Okay. Yay. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. I thought that was right, but I was like, am I not? I don't. Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm glad I asked, and I'm glad I didn't embarrass anyone. Okay. Yay. Because I like you guys. You're awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited about the giant spiders. And I know Dave is all like, "Why do you hate me?" I'm sorry, Dave. We don't hate you. We just really like giant spiders.
Well, and I mean, Dave, you should probably watch it anyways, because technically it's about how giant spiders are all evil. Asterisk. In fiction.
Yes, giant spiders in fiction are all evil. Oh, thank you, Amber.
Yeah,
they're all evil and they're great. And I might bring up. I have a couple of kind of niche giant spider moments. I mean, I know the one. I fully expect. I'm just letting you just run with Shalab. Okay, that's I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. That's you take it, run with it, because I have a feeling it's been way too long since I've read those books.
Yeah, and it stretches and Brainbug. I did think of one, but it stretches it stretches kind of the definition.
Oh, cool. Oh, don't say it.
Yeah,
we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
If there is a heroic giant spider, we will find that out tomorrow. That'll be interesting. Oh gosh, I might know what you're thinking of. Okay, nope. I'm gonna stop before I say it. Okay. Hey,
but so final thoughts.
Yes.
So everyone stay safe, and two, prepare mentally. Something's definitely going down on the 20th.
Yeah, and yeah, but stay safe. Be careful. Be extra careful. Don't. That was.
And
Kroll, which
and
is
if you live in Georgia, or if you live in Oregon or Michigan, potentially Pennsylvania, and definitely any other state with a history with a recent history of militia / right-wing activity, extreme right-wing activity, white supremacist, activity, be extra careful.
Yeah. And actually, we have here around these parts, we have the KKK. So yeah, we also have a strong Black Lives Matter presence as well, which is great. But it's also great, frankly. We're on lockdown right now because Tennessee's COVID rates are just off the charts. So that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, because I specifically mentioned Oregon because white supremacists like to target Oregon.
Yeah.
And Georgia, because one, Georgia turned blue for both the Senate and Biden.
Yeah.
And two, Oregon, Georgia, any of the other quote unquote disputed states.
And Senator-elect Warnock is the first black senator from Georgia.
Yeah.
So yeah, the racists will show up and show their asses if they can.
Yeah. I'm betting if Warnock, does any kind of acceptance speech in public, it will be attacked.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you live in any of the disputed states, there's probably going to be stuff going down there too. And then, of course, any state with a history of, extreme right wing activity will probably see some sort of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it probably won't be as bad as, Georgia, DC, or Oregon, because they like attacking Oregon.
Right. So stay safe, stay calm, and
Yeah.
make a plan if you need to, if you're in one of the capitals of any of those states, and just be careful. Okay. And don't forget about self-care right now.
Yeah.
That's important, and that is all right. If you
Yeah.
need to unplug from this stuff for a while, unplug. It's okay.
Yeah. You've got 2 weeks to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
Well, mentally and physically prepare.
And physically prepare. Whatever. Yeah, just
Yeah.
oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, that takes me to the end of my notes, and thank you so much, Ring, for
Yeah.
coming on and uh for sharing that analysis that I didn't even know you did. I did not
Yeah.
know that was part of your service training. I just knew that you were, or that, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was your job when you
Yeah.
were in the Army, and so I just knew you were a veteran, and I was like, okay, well that's good, because he'll know more. He'll know some things that I don't. So
Yeah.
that's and you definitely did. So thank
Yeah.
you for bringing the knowledge and the skill set. I really appreciate it.
And I'd be glad to come back sometime. Hopefully, like maybe more lighthearted, like talking about ACE or something.
Yeah, let's do something fun when this is all over and we can all
Yeah.
breathe again. I want to. I was gonna do a fun. Damn it! I was gonna do a fun thing for my patrons the other night. I was gonna dress up as my D&D character and role play an evening with patrons, and then something horrible happened, and I had to talk about that instead. It's just it's never ending right now. So are we playing tomorrow?
We should be.
Yay! I need it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow definitely for Brainbug's thing, and assuming nothing weird happens, there will be a secular D&D tomorrow as well.
But it might be a smidge late depending on how long Brainbug runs.
Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes. So if y'all want to come check out secular D&D, please do. It's fun, and that's fun for us anyway. I enjoy that. And honestly, I said this on a stream, and you weren't there, so you didn't. I don't know if you heard it or not. But thank you. Ring is a great DM, and not only is he a great DM, this is one of the longest campaigns that I've ever played. But as people keep showing up, and we've been able to, because scheduling adult lives around a weekly D&D game is really difficult.
Yeah.
And we've managed to do it, and it's been great. And just thank you so much. I mean, the only other campaign I've ever played that went on longer than this went on for 2 years, and I was the DM, and he had it at my house. And I think the main reason that it went on that long, but like, this is one of the longest. This is one of the 3 longest ones that I've ever, and I hope we keep going. I'm loving. I love being level 9. That's amazing. Okay, we'll stop talking D&D now.
Yeah.
Amber's like, good stream, bye everybody. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's everybody's thing. So okay, hey B Mills, thanks for showing up. Fair. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up really quickly.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be over. I know.
The pain is real.
It is. Maybe when we find like a day where nothing doesn't explode in the beds, that'd be great. I shouldn't have used the word explode, because there were pipe bombs and what's the official term in EDs in
IEDs.
IEDs. There we go. Thank you. No, I suck at those things.
Yeah.
It's there's something I mix up the National Rifle Association with the Irish Republican Army anagrams all the time, and don't do that. It's dangerous.
IED stands for improvised explosive device.
Thank you. Yep. Okay, so fun with that. No, those are not fun. Don't make those. You can blow off your hands trying to make those. Don't do it. Stupid. Okay. None of you would do that. I know I'm preaching to the choir. All right. Love you guys. Be safe. Be careful. take care of each other and yourselves, and wear a mask, wash your hands, use all that fun stuff. And I'm getting tested for COVID again in about an hour. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck, B Mills. Ooh, I hope
Yeah. Best of luck, B Mills.
yeah. Hoping for that negative, buddy. Wow, look, hey, some superstition is hard to shake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we love you, man. Take care of yourself, okay? And let us know, please. Like just, I don't know, tweet or something.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, take care of yourselves, and you can't find truth in wine, but you may find it in reason. Ring.
Remember, indoctrination is a hell of a drug.
Mm-hmm. Bye, guys.
Bye.